Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Katrine, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here this morning, and I hope everybody here has had their breakfast. I would like to thank you for joining us today for this special event, Meet the Author at Pamrc HAJEEDAR Journey in Architecture in conversation with Dato' AR HAJEEDAR Abdul Majid. This program is organized by PAM Resource Center Special Committee and supported by ICOMOS Malaysia. Our special guest for today is Dato' Architect Haji HAJEEDAR. Our moderator, Architect Ahmad Nizam Radzi, and Architect Adjunct Professor, Chairman of Resource Center Special Committee. Without further ado, I would like to invite Architect Adjunct Professor on stage to begin our session. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to Architect Adjunct Professor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, selamat pagi, good morning, Chousan, Assalamualaikum. Thank you, Katrine. Just would like to introduce you only students from IUKL. I think the lecturers are here to train her to, become a MC or maybe a moderator one day under the PAM education. Thank you so much, Katrine, to join us today. It's the first time coordinate his first experience. Well, first of all, syukur alhamdulillah. I would like to say thank you to God Almighty and also to all the members today. Thank you so much to join us. Such a beautiful day, such a memorable day. I personally would say that this is one of the PAM Resource Center event. We call it Meet the Author. Yeah, I think they're selected by all the committee members. And I believe there will be a few series after this. We believe that many architects in Malaysia, they love to not only draw, but they love to do a writing. And hopefully we can invite second series. But today is a special event. On behalf of PAM Resource Center, I personally invite the Honorable Dato' HAJEEDAR. Yeah, thank you so much, Dato'. After many series of discussion, I went to your house, went to your office, and then I managed to conduct and discuss with among the members, especially my brother, Architect Manizam. Thank you so much to Architect Fahmi, also joined us. I think Dato' Ghazali, also thank you so much. I heard that you were a classmate, a schoolmate, yeah, from VI. Well, Meet the Author. I believe this is a kind of a special event that I saw Dr. Tang Norman here. Morning, Doctor. Maybe you are the second series after this. We invite you. Well, kita bersantai hari ini, just to make a small gathering. Personally, under PAM education, we invited many students, but unfortunately, I received this morning the response from the faculties from university. A bit skeptical about the, join a huge gathering here, but it's okay. We're going to initiate a documentary, perhaps, documentary, so that we can, interview you, make it like a Netflix style, maybe like half an hour. That's our initiative for under PAM Resource Center and also PAM Education. And it's an honor to have ICOMOS to join us today. Yeah, ICOMOS. And then I would like to welcome also our past president, Tan Sri Architect Isa Muhammad. Welcome, Tan Sri. Thank you so much. Council, I think, Mumtaza, and the former council, Architect Mustafa, and many other friends here. And also the educators. Yeah, I can see the face here. Well, today, from bottom of my heart, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to declare when I was first year to study architecture, but before that, when I was taking XPM, eager to learn about architecture, I have to declare to you that the first name that I founded is Datuk HAJEEDAR. When I declared to him when I was 17 years old, get to know architecture, and then get to know who is Architect HAJEEDAR. They have done a few projects and then inspired us. And I believe not only me, but inspired to all of us. I think Rizal, when he was first year in IPM dulu, we remember Datuk HAJEEDAR's work. Besides Tan Sri Isa, besides Ken Young's, Jimmy Lim's, even that time you get to know TANDOK works. So this is my own initiative when I spell out to the committee members by saying that the young generation, especially your generation, you have to know I consider as a legend, the living legend. It's an idol for me, Dato'. And the same goes to others. You all inspired our generation. And then with your books that I heard that when you launched this book by your own initiative during your lockdown, 2 years. This is what we call the spirit of an architect. Never give up, come on. Never give up. Well, Dato' has owned his storyline. And I read his book, but not fully finished, halfway. I think finished part 1. And I'm going to be part 2. Because the book is very interesting. Yeah, the book is very interesting. As an architect, not only for a young generation like yours, and to all of us, you should get this book because it will inspire you. I personally inspire myself when I read HAJEEDAR's books. Just flip over all these part 3, all the paperwork, the PowerPoints that you presented before to all stakeholders. And also you shared to us about your practice, Gold Medallist Awards and your LAM President's Awards. Truly inspired us. And of course, your own journey, Dato', since you were a kid until you're young, Dato' Ghazali. I think this is what I believe. An architect not only concentrate about your works, your service, but you should talk about yourself. Dato', for your information, all the way from far, from Kuching, Architect Ningkan, thank you so much. He declared to me last week when he saw the flyers and then he decided to take a flight to Kuching last night, and then tomorrow he went back. I'm going back soon. We're going to keep in touch soon. Thank you for coming all the way from Kuching. And then I can see, is that Architect Hamdan, yeah? Oh my gosh. Uncle Hamdan, thank you for coming all the way from JB, yeah? Architect Hamdan. So from Kuching, from Johor. Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, meet your author and the PAM Resource Center. It's our honor to have our first series to invite Dato' HAJEEDAR today. But before that, I would like to welcome my brother here, Architect Ahmad Nizam, as the moderator to give a few words before we begin. Architect Nizam, please.
How much time are you giving me, Dato'? How much time are you giving me to talk? Because I always give you time to talk. So now I'm giving you the chance to. Can I have just about maximum 10 minutes? Okay. I think Adjunta, thank you, Adjunta. I think this is the first of the series of Meet the Author. We hope that Hamdan Jamal. That the Architecture Resource Center had planned to launch. So Dato' HAJEEDAR is the first of the series, and we hope that there will be more this year. Because I think it is important that we listen to senior members of the profession to see how the profession, the times have changed since then. But I'm not going to steal it away from him because he's going to talk about that later. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about is how I met Dato' HAJEEDAR. Very interesting story. That's the introduction. Yes. Where is it? Okay, here it is. I wrote it yesterday. with red ink. Okay, how I met Datuk, not how I met your mother, how I met Datuk Hajidar. Ada kata santai kan? We're not going to make this as a CPD, this is a CPD event, but it's not something that is very, very lecture-like. And I know there are a lot of academicians here, it's not going to be a lecture-like. Okay, it was 1989, I think I remember very well. 1989. The location was the PAM Resource Center, but not here. Jalan Tangsi. And it doesn't look like a resource center at all at the time. I think Datuk Hajidar Tan Sri, I think Pami and all the Hamdanyamanus who remember that place, full of dust and everything. But that was where I worked as a projects officer. Project officer too is just a term. Actually, I do everything. Everything that Fei Chia asked me to do, I'll do it. No problem. Okay? Because I wanted to work. Because at that time, there was a huge economic crisis. The most disastrous economic crisis where graduates like me came back without any job at all. So we were like literally begging for work. I went to Hijaz Kasuri office because that's where I did my practical training. And there were no jobs. They said, if you want to work, you can work, but it's not for free. Well, I need money. I need some money to, to pay for the bus fare, for my rental. I can't work for free. So it was a blessing that I got offered as a projects officer at PAM, even though it is not working as an architect, but at least I'm with PAM. So I get to know PAM through that. And also by extension, I get to meet a lot of people. All the past presidents, I think Tan Sri Esa was also there at the time, Datuk Esa. Yeah. You might not remember me, but I do remember you. All the presidents, of course, Datuk Hajidar was the immediate past president at the time. The president was David Tay. And also, I think Henry Lee, the late Ruslan Khalid, Dr. Kenyang, of course, all the big names. Even I think Datuk Clinton, the late Datuk Clinton was. So I get to meet all these giants in PAM. So it was a bonus for me, even though I was, being a librarian. When students came in and see me, they treat me like a librarian, students from IPM, from wherever, asking me, do you have this book? Do you have this magazine? Well, fortunately, I knew where the magazines are, but they treat me as librarian. I don't mind that, because we are all learning at that time. So the economic crisis, no job for graduates. So I was fortunate enough to be offered a job there with a salary of 600 ringgit a month. 600 ringgit a month. But I was a bachelor, I was young, so I don't really need that much money because I was staying with my auntie in Kelana Jaya, so I just need the money for the bus fare and the lunch. So 600 is okay with me. So anyway, in one of the when things get better in 1980, I was talking about 1987 when I started work. In 1989, 2 years later, I think things get better. That's where I met Datuk, because Datuk was there for a council meeting. Top floor, Jalan Tangsi. At that time, the floor was not reinforced yet. No yoga, no nothing. And you can hear the squeaking of the steps and the floors, and we were wondering whether we cannot have too many people up there because otherwise the floor might just collapse. But luckily it did not. So I met Datuk Hajidar there, and he called me, not I called him. He called me. Hey, you, come over here. That's why. I don't know if you remember Datuk, but that's what you do. Hey, you, come over here. And I went to him, and he asked me, what's your name? I said, my name is Ahmad Nizam. Oh, you are the project, blah, 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 blah. I said, yes. And then along the way, he actually, I think, proposed me, I think he offered me a job. And I grabbed that because I was waiting for a job because I can't be doing project officer for years and years and years. I need my logbook signed. I need to have practical training. I need to work as an architect. Otherwise, I'll be left. I'll be left behind. So I just grabbed. What I know of Datuk at that time was he was the immediate past president, and he was very active at the time, almost like Tan Sri Ilyas. Actually, he was as a Datuk Bandar, very, very vibrant and active. And I think he presided over PAM at the time when the country was experiencing the most, active economic boom at that time. So he was president at the right time, at the right place. I think that's why a lot of people remember him. So he was ex-immediate past president, and I said, wow, the immediate past president offered me a job. This is good. So I said, yes, I said it didn't matter because I just wanted to work with an architect in an architect's firm. So, and also I heard of him because he was featured as one of the 7KL architects. I don't know whether all of you have heard of that. 7KL architects. There was an exhibition in Tokyo, organized by the Malaysian Embassy in Tokyo, and it featured Dato' Ken Yang, I think Dato' Ken Yang, Jin King, Shaharun, David Tay, Syed Sobri, I think at that time. Syed Sobri on his own, not in GDP. Yeah, so that was, among students, that was, like a collection of idols at that time. Wow, this is the real, Malaysian architects at that time, and they are exhibiting overseas in Tokyo, and we would like to work with them. So I was lucky to get offered to work by Dato' HAJEEDAR. So I joined in 1989. When I joined in the office, there were two architects that I know very well now who were actually working there at that particular time. One of it is Fahmi. Yeah, and Fahmi, can you show yourself? Yeah, Fahmi was my Google at the time, because if I don't know anything, I will ask him. Because he's been there for quite some time, so he knows exactly what's going on. So I don't know. I only know how to hold council meetings. I only know how to look for magazines, and I only know how to answer feature, but I do not know how to handle clients. So I will ask Fahmi. The other one is much junior than Fahmi, but he's a big man now in Johor. Razin Architects. Yes, Razin. Razin was my compatriot at the time, the three of us. So Razin left HAJEEDAR, I think 3 years later, and the rest is history. I think I don't need to repeat what he has done now. I mean, the last time I was here because of him, right? I think you remember that. Okay, this is one thing that I would have to mention. Like in any relationship or marriage, when you start dating, have relationship, everything is smooth. Everything is like fine, sunny weather, the food is good, it's okay, But once you get married, the real thing happens. And I mentioned to Dato', this is the word that I use, baptism of fire. He repeated that word again. Yes, I said, a lot of people, I think a lot of young architects who work under you had that baptism of fire. But it's only me who used that word, baptism of fire. So if you do not understand what that word means, you can always Google. I mentioned that in the book anyway, you can look in the book. But I think it was just finding equilibrium, like in any relationship, like in the first year, just finding equilibrium. So after that, I think we got along fine. We spent time drinking teh tarik. But while our teh tarik dah habis, your teh tarik is still full. So we cannot ask for seconds because you tak habis lagi with teh tarik. That's another story lah. He literally pushed me to the deep end of the pool. If you know what that means, so to speak, he did not tell me how to do it right. Not like other bosses where you tell me, this is how you do it. This is what CPC is. This is what building plan submission is. This is what planning approval is. He did not. He just asked me to do it, and I have to find out what it's all about. Of course, I will make mistakes, right? Because I am a graduate. I do not know anything. I only know how to hold council meetings and look for magazines for feature. So, of course, that's not my baptism of fire. I think there is a lot of history. I think Fahmi can say that. I think Dato' was mentioning to me the incident with Wan Maizan. I think Wan Maizan also worked with us, but she's not here, unfortunately. Wan Maizan is sister of Wan Zaleha, who is also our national cyclist for the SEA Games in 1990-something. Anyway, he will scold me. I mean, really scold, I mean, I just, no, that's wrong, that's not. I mean, the kind of scolding that you get here is something that you cannot forget. You cannot forget. But only then I know what I shouldn't have done. So I think that's the best way to learn. When you get really hit hard, then you're not supposed to do it again. So I paid the price, and I know I cannot afford to repeat it again. So that's how I learned. So I think some people might not be able to handle that, but I think I managed. I was there for 3 years. 3 years only. As with the other architects, I think Pani can say that we all learn it the hard way. But we learn it the real way, I think. Not like now. Kan sekarang ni budak-budak manja. Oh, my staff pun manja. Tak boleh datang kerja lah, tak tahu nak buat lah, apalah, komputer rosak lah, tak tahu lah. 3D tak tahu lah. Oh my God, but anyway. But learn we did. And those years gave us invaluable experience that will shape our future careers. Sorry, I'm taking a bit more time. I worked under him for 3.5 years, Dato', when I thought of doing the unthinkable, which is migrating to greener pastures. Greener pastures, yes. He called me up, of course he will call me up and ask, why are you leaving? Semua orang kena ni. No exception. Yeah? I did not answer. I takut kena buang dari tingkap nanti. So I just quiet, I didn't say anything. But he asked me again, who are you moving to? Which office? Oh, I will mention the name. Can I mention the office? Okay. I said group design partnership. He was really angry. I do not know why, but at the time, group design partnership, which is now GDP, I was just starting with the office at Pusat Bandar dan Masalah, which is now no more. Yeah. But I like to think that his anger was more of a disappointment, really, that I'm no longer working for him. Not so much for that I'm doing, but I think he wants me to work with him for much longer. But I need to move on. I need to learn as much as possible from other people as well at that time, because I haven't got my partner yet at that time, so I need to. I was really sorry for that. Now I can say it now. Because that was like 30 years ago. For that, Dato', I'm truly indebted to you and grateful for that faith you had in me at that time, and also for the opportunity. Well, I went on to pass my Part 3 exam with some guidance from Dato', and I worked with other firms, even taught full-time at UiTM Shah Alam, and later become a director in a private firm. Dato' carried on with his work, with his small practice at Jalan BANGSAR, only shifting to the next block across the road. So he was there all the time, The rest is history as the awards came in, and it's all documented in his book, and he will tell you more about that later. Now that both of us have grown old, Dato' has grown older, as you can see. I have the courage to speak and joke with him as a friend, and no longer as a boss. So I think I have made that elevation, that graduation, that I can finally talk to you like I talk to everybody else. So that is a satisfaction for me. You only speak when you're spoken to, right? You only speak when you're spoken to. But now I think those days are gone. I think okay, 3 days ago, 3 days ago, when we were sitting down in his office to do a dry run of the presentation, I made a few remarks and suggestions how to improve the text and delivery. And suddenly he said, oh, pandai juga you, bagus lah. And then I said, Dato', of course I'm pandai. Now, because of you lah. In fact, now I should be charging you for my services. 100 ringgit per hour. And then he said what? He said, it's cheap. I said, because I'm giving you a discount. And he is not a fan of discounted professional fees, right? So I think that is another story. That's another talk probably. I'm not going to jump to that. I've been in a meeting with him, with a client, with a corporate client, solely talking about fees, I think. And so that's how I learned about letter of release and about fees, through his discussion with the client, not through books. Because this kind of thing you only get from experience. You don't have a book that says what is letter of release, what is a fee. So I think that is one thing that I treasure. Anyway, I have now come full cycle back in PAM to introduce Dato' HAJEEDAR in an almost similar circumstances which we first met in 1989, 33 years ago. 33 years ago. So on behalf of PAM Resource Center and Adianta, we hope all of you would enjoy his journey of architecture, told in his own words, in his own way. I did it my way, right? You want to sing? And now, with that, I hereby invite Datuk HAJEEDAR to begin his recollection. Thank you very much.